Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Night, the night where we talk about movies. I'm your host, Tremain Hayhoe. I'm a filmmaker, writer, director, actor, editor, producer, janitor. And tonight we've got a very special show. We are talking about how a movie director can go from being a small-time indie feature filmmaker to a big-time Hollywood blockbuster movie maker. So hang tight. We got the show, and we've also got a special guest coming in with me too, which you'll see soon. Okay. All right. I don't know how to get this to. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Night, baby, the night where we talk about movies. I've got special co-host here, Mr. Tom Kelly, who is a man of many talents, writer, radio host, podcaster, driver, truck knower. I don't know. What else?
40 years in IT.
40 years in IT. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Recently retired. Retired about 6 years ago, and just kind of been hanging out, having fun ever since. And drove Uber for a little while because I was bored, and then ran a radio station for a few years. And as you know, Tremaine, sometimes things don't pay off the way you need them to.
This is true.
I had to make some other decisions. My wife said, "Are we really going to spend our entire retirement on the radio station?" "No, dear, of course not, dear."
So, not all of it. 95%,
all
maybe.
Of it. Yeah.
Not all. No. We'll still have some left.
So for years, Tremaine, I've been writing different books. I've started 16 different books. Never finished a single one.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me.
Until I watched your movie, Rideshare. And then about a year ago, heard a true story about a rideshare driver who's going off killing people who cut him off. And I said, there's an idea for Rideshare too. So I finally finished a story, sent it to you a week or two ago. And since then pulled out a bunch of my other stuff and taking that out and working on it, and you know how it is, it just gets to be fun. I'm working on a children's book. I'm working on a book called what's called Trinity, and I'm rewriting it, redoing that a little bit. It's going to have a new title here very shortly, and it's just been a blast.
Awesome. Heck yeah. Well, that is really cool. Well, speaking of a blast, we are going to go into the box office weekend of last weekend. We're going to see who the winner was, who the losers were. Let's see what it is. So trying to get to Here we go. Let's see here. Boom. Okay.
Boom.
So, boom. So, let's see. So, first, looks like number 1 is Avatar Fire and Ash. Still holding on. Still made another $41 million in its third weekend. Its total gross is over $300 million, which is wild. Zootopia 2, which has been out a few weeks longer than Avatar, is still holding on pretty strong. Number 2 spot is $19 million. Total gross $364 million. Number 3, we have The Housemaid, which actually debuted at number 4, so it's gone up. It's gone up one, which is really interesting. You rarely see that in Hollywood. And then the next one actually went up even more than that. He went down. Marty Supreme went down to number 4. Marty Supreme's about a ping pong player who's supposed to be really shady and seedy, I guess. A lot of people are saying how great it is. I don't really have an attraction to see it. Timothy Chalamet is like a little bit hit or miss for me, to be honest.
Me too. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. So and then number 5 we have Anaconda, which was number 5 last week, so it didn't move down at all. Its total gross made $45 million, which that movie I saw over the weekend. I thought it was hilarious. I was actually really surprised with how funny this movie is. I knew I was going to go into a silly movie with Paul Rudd and Jack Black, which you're going to talk about Jack Black in a bit more. And, I was expecting a really silly movie and have a good time in the theaters, but I laughed my ass off. It was really, really funny. And then for me, because Jack Black is a filmmaker, he's a filmmaker and he's in his 50s and he's kind of given up on his dream. He's a wedding videographer and he's getting tired of that world, which I don't blame him. Mm-hmm. And he wants to make a movie, and his friends always wanted to make movies. His buddy Paul Rudd is like a struggling TV actor who's gotten only bit parts, saying 1 or 2 lines at a time. And they decide to remake the 1997 classic Anaconda, starring J-Lo, Ice Cube, and Jon Voight. It's a really interesting concept. It isn't the first movie about people making a movie, right? But it's still, I actually really highly recommend Anaconda because I haven't laughed that hard at the movies at a comedy in a while, and it's not political, it's not politically correct, but it's PG-13, so it's safe for 13 and up. It was a good time. Moving down the list, we have the SpongeBob movie, which debuted at 6 at $8 million. I haven't seen that, but that still seems like a pretty good turnout. The movie David, actually, it's David versus SpongeBob. Forget David versus Goliath. It's David versus SpongeBob.
Okay.
And actually, David is winning. The animated movie about David versus Goliath came out, I think, the same week. That's an Angel Studios movie. Came out the same week as SpongeBob, and it is beating SpongeBob. So, a Little Angel Studios movie is grossed almost $70 million, and with very little advertising. I mean, did you hear about that movie? Did you know it was coming out?
Yeah, heard about it. That's about as far as read somewhere about it, because I'm always, it is. You're always reading this kind of stuff, and so I'm familiar with it, but haven't seen it.
Totally. Okay. Yeah, and then we have Song Sung Blue, which I think is probably one of the. It's probably one of the worst titles of a movie I've heard. It's a terrible title, but I've heard good things about this movie. I
have too, and I'm a big fan of Hugh Jackman and what's her name?
Neil Diamond. Oh, Megan.
No, his girlfriend in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Meg.
Goldie Hawn's daughter. Oh, shoot.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson, thank you. Yes.
Okay, Kate Hudson.
Love Kate. I loved Kate Hudson ever since Almost Famous. And at some point in the next few weeks, we got to talk about Cameron Crowe and his movies, because I just think he is amazing.
Okay. All right. That's interesting because I'm not a big. Almost Famous was kind of a cool movie, but it just didn't do a whole lot. I'm trying to get these numbers bigger here.
Yeah.
Didn't do a whole lot for me.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time. I saw it when it came out, and I think I was 14 or 15 or something like that. Can we see this? It's kind of hard to see this, but here we go. Let's try this. Let's try this way. Okay, doesn't want to cooperate. That's fine. Here we go.
Well, the next one down on the list was the Wicked sequel.
Yeah. Did you hear that sigh?
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about Wicked too because I'm Wicked too. That was not a pun. We can talk about Wicked also, but it's I don't know.
Okay, now it's doing something. Okay, yeah. Well, I haven't seen Wicked. I probably won't. Maybe I'll see it at one point. But I don't have any want or need to see that movie. But have you seen it at all or anything?
I saw the first one. Didn't go see the second one. It's available on Disney Plus, which I have, and I just haven't gotten there yet.
Here we go. So, what did you like the first one?
Checking to make sure my wife isn't up here.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
Oh, yeah. It was wonderful, honey. Yeah.
Did you like it? Because you did. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. And then number 10 is Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which that's already out on streaming now. You can already stream it, but you have to pay $20 to rent it, which I think is pretty ridiculous.
Which is kind of what they're doing with Wicked as well. Is that what they're doing? Yeah, I don't know how much it is, but it's up there.
Do you do that? Do you rent movies for $20?
No.
Okay. See, yeah, neither do I. I just rather wait.
Yeah, last time I rented a movie via streaming was this great movie that came out of somewhere near you, I think. It's called Simp. It's a wonderful movie, and I was able to rent it for, I think it was $1.99 about a year ago or something, and so I watched that, and then I ended up buying it, and so I could watch it whenever I wanted to. So.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Simp was the last time I actually paid to watch a movie on my TV.
Wow. Well, that's an honor. Well, thank you.
I don't do that often, but yeah.
Well, that's flattering.
For those of you who don't know, Simp is something that Tremain put together, 2.5 years ago now?
Yes, about that. Yep.
And I got to tell you, it is a ton of fun. And someday, when we have extra time, I got some questions for you about that movie and the making of that movie and that kind of stuff. But it's a blast and does not go where you think it's going to go at the beginning. Where at the beginning you think, is this going to be a dead teenager movie? And where are we going with this? And so right at first you're scratching your head, and then it kind of turns into something that's poignant, and yet at the same time you feel like any moment you're going to get whacked upside the head, so you know something's coming, but you don't know what it's going to be, and it's a blast. It really is.
Wow. Well, thank you, Tom. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you guys can watch Simp right now. It's on Amazon, Tubi TV, and our YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. It hit over 500,000 views on YouTube, which is that's my highest. Yeah, it's my highest watched movie. It's twice the amount as Rideshare.
Wow.
So twice the amount of people have seen it on YouTube than Rideshare. I'd probably argue Rideshare's probably been seen more on Tubi and Amazon and whatnot. But
that's not unexpected, right?
No, well, yeah. I mean, that's what I'd go for. I wanted to get him at least $1 million for it, but it will eventually get there. And I think
Yeah.
combined, it's hit that amount, which is
But,
mind blowing to think about, right?
but I mean, after you did rideshare, probably you picked up a following right there. So when you did Simp, a lot of people are going to watch it no matter the subject, because, oh, I really like rideshare. I want to watch Simp now. And they don't necessarily go backwards, right? You see a movie and you watch the director's next movie, but you don't necessarily go watch his first movie, right?
You know, it's interesting. I go backwards typically. If I see, I'm like, who the heck is this? I hadn't heard of them. I'm like, well, what else have they directed? And if it's their first one, I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty good for the first one. Or if it isn't, I'm like, oh, I want to see what their first movies like. Or someone like Peter Jackson, for example.
Mm-hmm.
His first movie was it? It wasn't Evil Dead. That's Sam Raimi, but it was another like schlocky horror film. We should look it up real quick. Yeah, Peter Jackson's first feature. And that's actually pretty much the theme. Oh, it's called, okay. It was a sci-fi horror comedy called Bad Taste. Low budget, independently made film where he wrote, directed, produced, and starred, showcasing his early talent and dedication with a story about aliens invading New Zealand for fast food. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's like crazy. So the question is, how does someone go from a tiny movie about aliens eating fast food, eating people as fast food, to Lord of the Rings, right?
Right.
And tonight we're talking about how someone came from Napoleon Dynamite, which was a cult classic, but at the time no one knew who these people were. Had very minimal stars, to one of the highest grossing movies of 2025 in the Minecraft movie starring Jack Black. Like, how does someone go from that tiny point to today? Napoleon Dynamite. So I'll pull up the figures. Napoleon Dynamite had a $400,000 budget. Okay, the Minecraft movie had a $150 million budget. $150 million for one movie, Tom. One movie.
What could you make if I gave you $150 million? God. What could you make?
Are you joking me? I mean, I would make, that's like unlimited movies right there. I mean, I could build a studio, an independent studio where people are working, they work 9 to 5 jobs like any other job, but we make movies. And
right.
I mean, we could make, if you could make 10, I could make 10 movies for $100,000. So that's $1 million right there. So $1 million. Mm-hmm. So yeah, 10. So it'd be 10 times 150. So I would make 1,500 movies is what I would do.
Okay.
So it's like in one of those are bound to hit, or I mean, even or $151 million movies. You can do a lot with that.
There
you know what I mean? I'd probably do that. And $151 million movies. You can come out with 15 movies a year for 10 years.
Did you watch the documentary called Project Greenlight?
I did not. I know what you're talking about. It wasn't that a reality show too, or they turned it into a reality show?
Well, I'm kind of. I forget where it ran because it's like 20, 30 years old now.
Yeah.
Very, very young Matt Damon and Ben Affleck put up $1 million and chose somebody to make a movie for $1 million. And of course, the guy who was making the movie had never done anything like that. And it was very interesting to give a new director $1 million and say, here, go for it.
And that's gutsy too, to do that, because a lot of people think, okay, I'm a new director, but just give me $1 million and see what I can do. It's kind of like it's not really going to happen unless you have a rich uncle or you were born into wealth. I mean, typically multimillionaires aren't going to just hand you $1 million to make a movie. That unless it's a really good script, unless you really get some big actors involved, I think it's pretty tough. But at the same time, I mean, Jared Hess got $400,000 to make Napoleon Dynamite, so that's almost $500,000.
Yeah, and
right.
And the thing is, any actors like that, you got to take a big name and get them to work at scale, because you can't afford to pay $20 million to Bruce Willis or whatever to star in your movie. So you're going to have somebody who says, "Okay, yeah, I'll do that for 150."
Right.
And
yeah.
So they have to be, and he got a great cast, and it was a interesting movie because it focused on a kid who had lost a close friend in a drowning accident, and him trying to figure out how to manage the ideas of heaven and hell and a young person dying, So it's kind of a heavy subject, but at the same time, it's one of those movies with a heart of gold,
Right. Yeah. Well. So what's that? Is that the Project Greenlight movie, or which movie is this?
The movie that they made out of Project Greenlight.
Okay.
So I forget, it was called Summer or something Summer or whatever was the final title of the movie. But the making of it, for those of you who are watching this and maybe follow Tremain because you have your own vision of making movies, it's a great. Watching Project Greenlight is a great way to find out this is a lot of work.
Yeah,
when Tremain puts this together, it's not a matter of, I think I'll put a movie together this weekend. It's a lot of work, and sometimes there's a great moment in the documentary where the cameraman decided that the scene was ruined. And so he pointed the camera at the ceiling. But nobody else felt that way. And so the director and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck just tore that guy up. And it's like, that's not your decision. We'll call cut. We'll call cut. We'll do the edit. That's not your job to go, oh, something's wrong here, and then point it at this. That's not your job.
Wow, that is a jackass move. That is a jerk move right there.
Yeah.
Especially because there does get certain egos. You can have a DP who thinks he's the he's the next Roger, what's his name? He's the next DP, right? Yeah. The next great director of photography, and like Wally Pfister, who did the Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. No, you're not, and especially if you're doing this first time movie. Gosh, I have a friend who's going through that right now. He has a director of photography / colorist, and he told him what the theme, the tones, and colors he wants, and all that good stuff, and he keeps sending all these other wacky samples to try to why don't we try doing this? Why don't we try doing that? And then my buddy was like, no, it's very specific. I have a very specific vision for this look.
Right.
And then he's like, well, I thought we were going to collaborate. And he's like, well, we are collaborating, but it's that tough thing where another thing where then he holds it over his head where he goes, well, you said that you're up to collaborate. And he's like, yeah, I am up to collaborate, or he's not paying him, right? So if you're not paying the person, they can hold like, oh, well, I'm working for free for you. Why don't you collaborate with me? I got these looks. That's why you can't do that. You have to pay people sometimes because then they'll do what you want them to do. If you're a producer director, you almost have to do that because a lot of people try pulling favors, and you could do that for a while, and then it gets to a point where they just have to do what you want them to do or need them to do. I'm open to suggestions. I'm always open to that. Sure. But if I'm already like, oh no, why don't we just do it like this? Then we do it like that, and that's it, and we keep going. Right? You don't keep saying, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? You can do that till the cows come home. Then you don't get a movie done.
Right. And at some point, I'm sorry, but somebody has to be in charge. Okay, somebody has to say, no, it's going to be green, not blue, and we move on. And you can't sit there and have an argument about every single thing about it. Okay, I know you wanted to do this, but the script I sent you about the serial killer rideshare driver, shared it with somebody else. Their response was, "Why does it have to be so violent?"
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's a movie about a serial killer.
I know. Well, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I'm not sure if you remember us talking about this, but there was a podcast that reviewed Rideshare, and he goes, "Oh, I hate this movie because it's about a serial killer who sucks because he kills people." And it's like,
well, thank you for understanding what I was making there. I appreciate that much.
Right? Yeah. It's really annoying. It's just annoying people that don't get it. If you get it, cool. If not, then not cool. All right, so here we have. This is an interesting chart here. So we have Jared Hess, Napoleon Dynamite versus Minecraft movie. So his career debut was Napoleon Dynamite. You've seen Napoleon Dynamite, I'm assuming, right? Have you seen Napoleon?
I have. Okay. And the reason I have is kind of interesting. We'll get back to that. But we also have to mention, too, unlike most directors, this guy has a sidekick who's involved in everything he does, and it's his wife.
Oh, really?
His wife is they're hooked at the hip, and they do everything together, and she is a big influence on him and vice versa. He's the man out front. She's the one behind the scenes who makes sure that things are actually happening the right way.
Jared Hess? We're talking about? Yeah. Okay. Jared Hess. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
So she's the woman behind the man, if you will. And it's really interesting. And so let me tell you why I know Napoleon Dynamite is I've been very at the time I was very involved in my church, and I got involved in a group that tried to find pastors to go to college campuses and help students in times of crisis. Makes sense, right? Yeah. So something terrible happens, building burns down, woman is attacked by somebody, whatever. This is going on campus and helping people through times of tragedy. And I heard the guy saying one day, if you have not watched Napoleon Dynamite and can sit down and discuss with a college student why it's so funny and what it means to them, you will never be successful in this job. And I said, well, I got to see that movie. And at the time, my son was 18 when it came out. And so I talked to him about it, and he's like, that's all we talked about. We talked about Napoleon Dynamite. We quote it every day. It's, and he agreed that if somebody came on campus and they couldn't talk about a movie like Napoleon Dynamite and its impact that it had on that age group, they couldn't help. They're just too far out of touch with reality in people. So that's what turned me on to Hess to start with, was this is a guy who has a voice that can reach today's youth, and that's not easy. That's not easy, because that's a line that's always moving, right? And if you don't hit it straight on, then they're laughing at your movie in the middle of the screening, and it doesn't go well.
Well, yeah, and he can mine what the kids are into, which is Minecraft, which I still don't get it. I get it, but I don't get why it's so popular. I've tried playing it, and it's really.
I agree.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't. My friend Troy Lee, shout out to Troy Lee. He loves it, but he's 25 and he grew up with Minecraft. So now Minecraft is like, so he loved doing that, and he's like, I like creating my own world, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I built Legos personally. I created real Lego sets. I had those Western Legos, and my first movies were stop motion Lego movies. and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of
Yeah.
fun with that. And, it's like, where do you start? I guess Jared Hess started and had a couple short films when he was at BYU college. And then he ran into John Heder, who became Napoleon Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
And so just as comparison, he started out, his notable stars, I think his notable stars were John Heder, John Grease, Efrain Ramirez, Tina Majorino, and Dietrich Bader, which probably the biggest star out of all those is Dietrich Bader because he was popular from the Drew Carey show.
Mm-hmm.
He's the about here sensei guy. That's probably the most famous guy, or John Grease, right? Grease. It's one of those two.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure.
Those are his biggest stars. Now he's got Jason Momoa and Jack Black.
I mean, stop right there. Who doesn't want to see?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Totally. And Jennifer Coolidge, right? Right? And then you got production budget of $400,000 to $150 million, and box office for 46.1, which is excellent. If you started with 400,000, that's excellent.
Sure.
And box office receipts for Minecraft is $957 million, almost $1 billion. $1 billion. So he goes from 400,000, not even half a million, to $1 billion, which is nuts. $1 billion. It's really impressive. I mean, that's incredibly impressive. And
yeah. And it's not like he didn't work in between, but I mean, in 20 years to move from there to there.
Right. But 20-year difference. I mean, yeah, that's still, hey, if you say, so, okay, Rideshare came out 2017, 2018. And so if we're going to say 2038, I'm directing a $150 million movie, I'd be pretty happy.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I'd be pretty happy.
Who wouldn't?
So,
and right. To have that kind of cast, because as much as you and I might realize that it's, the cast is only one thing in the whole success of a movie.
It's a pretty big thing, though.
It's a pretty big thing, and one of the things we ought to, and this is our first show together, and we're going to be doing a lot of these going forward on Monday nights, and I hope you all will be tuning in and watching with us. I think that's one of the things we ought to talk about on one of our shows in some detail is what are the key elements for success? I have seen movies where the acting is amazing, but I can't follow the story. Yeah. And I've seen movies that the story is awesome, but the acting, and sometimes the whole thing, you watch it and you get done and you go, I didn't like it, but I'm not sure why. Those are the ones I blame the director, because he had all the elements and somehow couldn't put them together. And
right, or there's that movie where you really like it, and then you go to explain it to someone, and then when you're explaining it to them, it sounds really dumb or really weird, or you're explaining it and then you can't really explain it, and then in the movie, then you wonder why the movie doesn't do well in the box office because you can't really explain it. And I'm always, the biggest thing that I learned making movies is you have to have an elevator pitch, which your elevator pitch should be, or your theme should be one sentence, maybe two sentences tops, right? So rideshare. It's about a killer rideshare driver or a killer Uber driver in LA. That's it. You get it right away. One crazy night in LA. And then Simp is about an Instagram model who gets kidnapped at a fake photo shoot based on true events. Boom. You get it right there, right? Yep. Cattown Story. Cattown Story is about a cat adoption center in Oakland, California that helps adopt unwanted cats and makes them lovable pets. So, it's I'm always, and you got to have it right there with you, right? And especially if you're pitching it.
Isn't it interesting sometimes too, Tremain, how you watch a movie, you love it. You laughed your ass off. It was such a great movie. And then you go back and you watch it a couple of years later, and it's like, this is awful. What was I thinking? And that happened to me with the John Landis film. I think it was called Into the Night with Jeff Goldblum.
Okay. I haven't seen that one.
Okay,
sounds great on paper. Sounds great.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum comes home, finds his wife having an affair, and kind of loses his head. And it's a night of chaos and craziness and all that as he goes around the streets of L.A. lamenting his cheating wife and all that kind of stuff. And the first time I watched it, I thought, okay, this is like Academy Award funny. This is so great. And like 5 years later, I watched it and I was like, this is awful. Who would ever watch this movie? I mean, and I love John Landis. I love Jeff Goldblum. I don't know. Sometimes you got to be in the right place for the right movie. I'm sorry, my camera's acting funny. We'll get that.
It's okay. You know that is interesting. It also, I think it depends on your mood at the time and the state of mind you're in. Sometimes you want to watch. Like I was in I think it was in 2020, and I was in kind of a dark place, and I put on Anchorman. A lot of people were, and I put on Anchorman 2, which I hate Anchorman 1. I can't stand that movie. I think it's completely overrated and terrible.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. But I watched Anchorman 2 and I laughed my ass off and I loved it. But I think I was in such a bad position since I just wanted something stupid just to laugh at. Yeah. And when he's yelling at his blind shark named Dobie, or he's blind, and I don't know. It was just so dumb. I was laughing.
So let me try something on you. Tremain.
Okay.
We are the knights who say, nay, 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 nay. What
is that Monty Python? Monty Python? Okay.
So I challenge you, those of you who are watching us right now, go watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail by yourself.
Dude, you know what?
It's not fun. The whole thing about Monty Python and the Holy Grail is not the movie. It's talking about the movie. It's imitating the movie. It's saying, I have the holy hand grenade, and I'm going to count to 3. I'm not going to stop at 2. I'm not going to continue on to 4. And you laugh and laugh and laugh about the movie. But the movie itself, if you watch it, especially if you don't have somebody sitting there with you, about halfway through, you're going to be going, what?
Yeah, with Monty Python, I never really got it. I like the fun. Obviously the minor flesh wound scene is a classic scene.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's hilarious. Right? Yeah, that's really funny. But everything else, I just don't get. But a lot of people love it. They quote it till the cows come home.
Oh yeah.
But that is something where I'll watch a movie. Sometimes it's hard for me to watch. I can watch movies by myself, and some movies that I love to watch on my own just because I just like to get into a movie, and it doesn't matter if there's people there or not. But other times it's like, something about the theater experience. You're around people when people are laughing, and it does make it all the better. I think films are meant to be enjoyed by multiple people, not just a film aficionado like ourselves. I mean, we can watch a movie, but it makes it better watching a movie.
Somebody once asked me, Tremain, if I would rate my top 10 favorite movies, and I gave them back a list a couple of hours later of my top 10 favorite movies in 15 different categories.
Wow!
Because I couldn't come up with a single top 10 list. How do you compare The Godfather to Napoleon Dynamite?
Right.
Okay.
You can't. It's obviously Napoleon Dynamite. No, just kidding.
You can't.
Well, you really can't.
And Napoleon Dynamite means a lot to guys and girls who were 18 years old in 2004. Godfather's that old movie that their grandparents watched. You ask them, they really do think Napoleon Dynamite's a better movie. That doesn't mean that it is. It just means that's in that category. Napoleon Dynamite outranks The Godfather.
Totally. And case in point, Minecraft too. I think it's a generational thing where my friend who's 14 years younger than me loved it Minecraft. And I saw it and I'm like, okay, there's some funny bits in it. Yeah. And it's funny, it's goofy, but I'm not, I thought that everything that was in the real world was more entertaining than what was in the Minecraft world. I mean, what did you think of that movie? So by the way, I watched Minecraft movie last night, kind of part of what spurred this, and then realizing that it's this Jared Hess movie. And then you just watched it just now. Yeah. What were your thoughts on it?
I like that Hess let Jack Black be Jack Black. Okay. Where Jack Black succeeds and fails comes down to, in my opinion, whether or not he gets to do what he does best. And I didn't. Now, Hess did Nacho Libre too, right?
Correct. Yes.
Nacho Libre didn't work for me. It had moments, like you said, there were moments where I went, yeah, that's pretty funny. And part of our problem as movie lovers is that sometimes I think maybe we can be too analytical, and maybe I was too analytical when I was watching Nacho Libre and saying, well, that humor didn't really work in that scene now, did it? And instead of just enjoying the movie, and I got to remember to take myself out of the room and just enjoy it, right? And not get into it on my first viewing. But I think Minecraft was a lot of fun. We saw a side of Jason Momoa that we don't see.
Yes, absolutely.
We got to see Jack Black just doing the Jack Black thing and singing and having his fun and all that. Though I got to say, Jack Black blew my mind in one movie where I didn't see it coming. And most people who watched that movie are absolutely amazed that Jack Black pulled off the role he did in The Holiday.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw that one, The Holiday.
It's a rom-com set in L.A. and London simultaneously, where two women who are both down on their luck as far as men and life and so forth decide to swap homes for the holidays. So the girl outside of London goes to L.A. The girl in L.A. goes to this quiet place outside of London, and comedy has happened, and we have all sorts of interesting things going on. And Jack Black plays a role in that movie that is, I don't want to call it serious because he's still Jack Black, but he's not Jack Black. He's sedated. He's relaxed. He's comfortable in his own skin. He's curious and kind. And by the time the movie's over, you kind of don't care as much about the two women as you do what happens with Jack Black's character next. And he really, in a way, steals the movie. Him sitting in a video store. We used to have these things called video stores. We'll talk about that some other time. He's in a video store with.
I used to work at a video store. We'll talk about that at another time.
So he's in the video store and he's picking up different movies and talking about their soundtracks. Yeah. And what was funny is while they were filming it in a video store, Dustin Hoffman walked by.
Oh, I just saw something about that. Yeah.
And so
it was Catherine Bigelow was the director, isn't she?
No, Nancy Myers.
Oh, Nancy Myers. Sorry,
okay. Nancy Myers.
Yeah.
And they pulled him in for just 2 seconds. He just stood there looking at a video and looking at Jack Black as Jack Black was carrying on about. Well, he could da-dum, da-dum, and he's talking about how two notes changed the whole way America looks at soundtracks when Jaws came out. I mean, it's an awesome movie. It really is. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, I'll take your word for it because I looked at that and I'm like, I don't really want to see that movie, the holiday. But I'm not a big rom com guy, to be honest. So some can help me, but I'll take your word for it. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
Well, it's worth it just to watch him. But you can disregard that. But what you like about it, though, is that the movie is, in a very real sense, about making movies.
Yes.
And so, as a soundtrack director, Jack Black has a key piece in the movie. He is good friends with Cameron Diaz, whose entire world is making movie trailers.
Oh wow!
In a world where man must face beast. It's and so we get to see the behind the scenes of them putting together that kind of stuff, and so you would appreciate it from that perspective as well. And they come across an old man who used to write movies back in the 1920s and 30s, and he knows everybody from those days, and just how they deal with all. And it's fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is interesting. Going back to Napoleon Dynamite, how someone, I'm trying to get this pinned comment here. Oh, okay. I'll do this real quick. Okay. Pin message. All right, there we go. So okay, what we're saying. So
good question.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, you know what's interesting is when people say, "Oh, so and so is a sellout," right? For me, it's like I want to be a sellout because that means you sell out, right? I want to sell out these movie tickets. I want to sell out.
Yeah.
My I want my movies to succeed. I don't want them to be these tiny little indie movies for forever because people are like, "Oh yeah, so and so sells out," blah blah, right? But unless if it was Jared Hess, if they stop in the middle and do a actual Skittles commercial or something, that might be selling out. But at the same time, that's selling movies. I think Michael Bay gets a lot of flack because you'll see Mountain Dew, you'll see Budweiser. There's a scene in Transformers where a Budweiser truck falls over and all these Bud Lights, fly everywhere, and then someone opens them and drinks it. I mean, I don't really see a problem with it. I mean, unless if it's Shameless 2 and they acknowledge it. In Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell, they had a literal Applebee's commercial in the middle of it. Like a literal Applebee's commercial in the middle. And that's kind of selling out, I think. But if you have a character that like eating Applebee's and they say, "Oh, I love Applebee's," and then Applebee's gives you $100,000 or $1 million to do that. I mean, to me, I would not say no to that. I personally, and is that me selling out or being a shill or is that?
I'll tell you where your sellout would be. Okay, I go to look at a Hayhoe movie, knowing in the back of my head at least what your voice is. Okay, I know basically what I'm expecting, and if you were to make a movie about Texas bluebonnets and children sitting in the midst of Texas bluebonnets and having their picture taken by their mothers, just so that somebody would watch your movie, because who doesn't love children sitting among bluebonnets? And that's basically the whole movie. I would call you a sellout because I came in there looking for your voice and I didn't get it. Instead, I got some silly movie about Texas bluebonnets.
Yeah, I don't even know what Texas bluebonnets is, but
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right. Yeah, if I'm just and that's the thing. I think when I think about sellout, someone that has sold out as of late, which is very unfortunate. It's someone like Sacha Baron Cohen, who is such a good, talented actor, but he's now, he's sold to the liberal Hollywood elites, right? And he has the same viewpoint, and he's walking back things that he said before. He used to be really edgy comedian, making fun of everybody. And now he's, he's a member of the Hollywood elite. So I think I kind of see that as a sellout, and you don't really see him in many things anymore. But he's an ultra talented person, right? Ultra talented.
There are several movies that he's done that I'm sorry, I'm not into the what was the movie, the big movie he did where he is acting like he's from a foreign country.
Borat.
Yeah. But when I saw him in Scorsese's movie about the making of some of the first movies that takes place in a train station in Paris.
Yes.
He was awesome. And then I saw him most recently in The Trial of the Chicago 7 that Aaron Sorkin wrote and directed.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
He was good?
Oh, he should have gotten an Academy Award nomination. He was phenomenal. He blew me away. But like you said, he was one of us who was making it in movies, and now he's one of them who looks back on us. And it's kind of unfortunate, but well,
it is that thing. Once you're there, you kind of want to stay there. You don't want to get kicked out, right? You want to be able to stay there and keep making movies. I think I might get a seizure looking at you.
I know, it's driving me crazy too. I'll fix it next time. Nothing I can do about it now. But.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. I just had to acknowledge it, guys. Don't worry. It's a work in progress, this show. By the way,
like I said, this is our first night, so.
Yes, this is our first night. Hey, movie nights, by the way, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. On Wednesday, I'm going to have my friend James over. We're going to talk about Anaconda, 1997 versus the new one.
I can't wait to see the new one now.
Yeah, the new one is hilarious. I loved it. And that is something, though, you watch with a friend. I watch it with my mom, and my mom watched it. She's like, Tremain, this is like the story of your life. Right?
Thanks, Mom.
It's Jack Black. It's Jack Black as someone who's pursuing filmmaking. But in this, it's someone that he actually doesn't pursue it. He ends up getting caught up in the videographer realm, just doing it for a paycheck, which I could easily get caught up doing that and lose focus on making actual movies, right? And even then, like right now, we're talking about movies, or we're not really making movies. But at the same time, I love talking about movies. So, might as well, when you're talking about movies, I mean, what else am I going to do with my life, right? So talk about movies, make movies, which...
We were talking email before we came live, and I asked you if you know which movie Jack Black got his arm blown off by Bruce Willis. Did you know that movie?
I did not know that movie. Anyone know that in the comments below? Write that down in the comments below. You've got 30 seconds to do that. What movie did Jack Black get his arm blown off by Bruce Willis? Was it Die Hard?
No.
Okay. Was it The Holiday? I'm kidding. Was it? I don't know. No one else knows in the chat.
It was a movie that came out in 1997. Nobody had heard of Jack Black by then. He hadn't done much of anything. And he was
Year of Anaconda.
He is a guy who's making weapons for the Bruce Willis character in the movie The Jackal.
Oh, The Jackal.
And
that's interesting.
And so he has to hold up this target, and from about 500 yards away, this huge distance, they have to talk to each other over walkie-talkie and stuff like that. He has to hold up this target while Bruce Willis is going to shoot the target. He misses the target. Did he? And blows off Jack Black's arm instead. Because Jack Black says, "Oh man, that really hurts."
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
It's great to see Jack Black. He was young and it was a serious role, but he was still Jack Black and still funny. And
You know what was funny is that I watched an interview because I watched Anaconda, and I watched an interview with Jack Black, and he was asked what was his first job, and he surprisingly said, he's like, I'm going to sound like a jerk, but I never had a job. He never had a job. He's like, I was going to go I'm just going Hollywood or bust. It was like, I don't care if I'm going to live at my mom's house. I'm just Hollywood or bust. He goes, oh wait, I was a telemarketer for a day. But I'm like, this, this sucks. I'm just going to go for it. There's a certain thing about people that just go after it and don't have the second, like this plan B, right? It's good to go after your dreams. But yeah, he was very successful at a very young age. Now he's been around, almost 30 years since that. And if he made other movies before that too, and he's now really Jack Black is probably one of the most likable Hollywood celebrities. He seems like a down to earth person that you could just talk to, and he wouldn't be this diva. He's not, he's not one of the people that you would think is going to be a jerk. So it just seems that way, at least, right?
Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. I'm going to let's say I have the power to set up lunch for you tomorrow. Would you rather have lunch with Hess or Jack Black?
Hess.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. Because you got to know what happened. How did he do this?
Yeah, totally.
How did he go from rideshare to the 1938 or the 2038 best movie of the year?
Exactly. Yeah, highest. Yeah, totally. Yeah. How do you take that? How do you leverage that? Well, and there are people that they come out with their first movie and it does really well, and then you never see them again, or they make a second one and then it flops, and then you never see them again. Or there's people that, M. Night Shyamalan's career went from Sixth Sense, which is pinnacle, top of the top, to just everyone incrementally going down, a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse. Then he tanked, but then now I think he's coming back up. He's on his way back up, and he's still kind of hit and miss with his last couple movies. Trap, I think, was a fun ride, but it wasn't anywhere near Sixth Sense or Signs or anything like that. So he is on his way back up, and you just got to keep creating. One thing that they say in the Minecraft movie that I really like, Jack Black says it. He goes, "It's easier to destroy than create." Right? So you should be creating, and it's all about creativity and using your creative mind. And I like that. That's a good message, and that is a great message for kids, right? For this kids movie that, and it makes sense why a kids movie will make almost $1 billion, right? Because if you have a kids movie, the kids aren't going to go by themselves, right? They're going to bring their parents along. The parents, so one ticket becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tickets. Right. And that's something that I think family friendly, there's something to it where a lot of the family friendly movies have gone away. I think there's something to being family friendly. And going back to my movie, Simp, which is my first R-rated movie, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just go back to PG-13 or even go to PG, which I am working on my latest and greatest movie. Can't say too much about it, but the script is done. And we are in pre-production right now. Cool. And we have a premiere already set, deposited to the theater already, July 10th. Wow. Yeah, so I like to put pressure on myself a lot of times, right? I kind of have to. And so July 10th in Sacramento, the Harris Center in Folsom, state-of-the-art theater, room for 800 people. We're doing it big. And we are also premiering it at the Golden Bear Film Festival. And I created a film festival. I don't know if I told you this, Tom.
No.
But yeah, so we created a film festival. My movies won't qualify for any awards or anything like that, but my friend Troy and I put this together, and we are starting to accept films, and we have the space to premiere 10 feature films on the Saturday and Sunday, and then end with an award show on Sunday. And we also will have a second screen for short films, and so 2 screens at a time. You guys go to filmfreeway.com/Golden Bear Film Fest if you guys want to enter your film. If you're a filmmaker yourself, go to filmfreeway.com/Golden Bear Film Fest.
When is that movie?
July 10th.
No, the film festival is at the same time.
Yeah, it's yeah. So we're premiering our movies Friday night, July 10th, and then 11th and 12th we're screening all the other movies.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of the Friday is a premiere night for our own movies, and
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I like you doing that. I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So if you guys go to filmfreeway.com/Golden Bear Film Festival, yep, perfect. You got it. And submit your film today. And we're going for quality. There's some local film festivals that are here, and they'll just accept everybody as long as they live in Sacramento, which is cool. You know, it's great, but I think it's more important to have a quality control and really focus on quality and having a good, well-run theater or well-run programming with high-quality movies. So, yeah, you're definitely invited, Tom, if you can make it out, if you can swing it.
I'll swing it. You know. Yes,
sweet.
I'm a retired old man who lives on a fixed income and all that kind of. That's
wow.
That's what life is about. That's what life is about now, is going out and doing that kind of thing. So I would very much like to do that and check all that out and meet some of the young up and coming movie makers of today and see where we're going with all this. You know, there's and we'll save this for next time. I think the world of AI is going to impact the world of movies much more than what we think it's going to change. I think the way that you'll be able to go into your computer or other viewing way, we'll talk about that too, and basically give the whole idea of what you want to watch, sit back for 2 minutes and then watch the movie that you want to watch with the actors you want in it. I want to see a Western starring John Wayne and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
A young Robert Downey Jr. And I want them to fight the bad guys led by Brad Pitt and Montgomery Clift. And, and you lay it all out there and you wait for a few minutes and boom, there it is.
You're absolutely right. They actually, there's a company in the Bay Area that's doing that. It's basically a Netflix for AI, which you'll type that in, a show, if they have a show, and you could use whatever characters, and then you watch that episode. So I don't know if it's out yet or not, but yes, we will save it for next week. That's a great topic. So next week we'll be talking about AI in filmmaking, which will be really fun, really exciting. And Tom, any last words? Any final thoughts about how a indie filmmaker can go from rags to riches, from nothing to something?
I think really, and we can talk about whether or not this theory is even correct next week. It's not how good you are a lot of times. It's who do you know? You know, Jack Black stands up one day and says, one of today's great filmmakers who's up and coming is a guy named Tremain Hayhoe. That's worth more than buying a full page in Variety newspaper. You know, he says that while he's on the Tonight Show or something, and your life is different the next day.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I always joke. I'm a tweet away. I'm a tweet away. You know, it's like
absolutely
right.
Right person, right circumstance. They say the right tweet, and life changes instantly. I think there are a lot of great, talented movie makers who are out there who never get a chance to sell out because they're just never found, and that's sad when that happens. And I think there are a lot of people who have been successful. We can talk about them next week, who have no business standing on the red carpet.
Oh gosh, yes.
People. But because George Clooney said, "I think he's a fine director," everybody jumped on the bandwagon. And the truth is, he doesn't know what he's doing. You know.
Yeah, or the some directors that continue to work that they made one good movie and then now they're kind of taking it for granted. Like they're just kind of phoning it in, collecting a paycheck, which hopefully I'll never get to that point, because you got to have that passion, you got to have that drive. And yes, making money is great. You could still do that, but don't just do that and phone it in. You got to always try. You got to always try your best, guys. Well, thank you guys.
One question before we cut off, and you can answer it next week. Who's a better director, Ben Affleck or Francis Ford Coppola?
I think it's actually. Well, you know what? We can debate that. We can talk about that next week, because that's actually really an interesting question. Okay, that's good. We'll leave it at that, guys. What do you guys think? We'll leave that in the comments below. Who's a better director, Ben Affleck or Francis Ford Coppola? Thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in this Wednesday at 7 p.m. On Monday, we will be talking about Anaconda 1997 versus 2025. And then on Friday, we will be talking about Toxic Avenger. We'll be talking about Toxic Avenger, the old one versus the new one. So
there's a new one. There's a new one.
There's a new one. They made a new one with Peter Dinklage as Toxic Avenger, which is really interesting. I've yet to see. I'm gonna see it either tonight or tomorrow, and we'll talk about it later. But cool. Yeah, all right, Tom, Kelly, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Signing out. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe for more content.